Hey students, in this video I'm going to go over the notes of Introduction to Triangles. Alright, so first we're going to learn how to classify the triangles. And the definition of a triangle, it is that it is a polygon with three sides. And just for future reference, the word polygon means a shape with many sides. From there, we have quadrilaterals and hexagons and octagons. And so for now, we're just focusing on the triangle. You could classify triangles based on the number of the sides or the types of sides that they have. This one right here, this side length, and this side length, and this side length are three different measures, three different amounts. So this one, we can say that there's no congruent sides. And the name for this, it's scalene. On the next one, we can say that these two sides are congruent. Therefore, this is an isosceles. And we're going to write two congruent sides. This third triangle, it is one that has all three sides the same. So this is the equilateral. Three congruent sides. All right, so that's classifying the triangle by its sides. Next is classifying the triangle by its angles. So we have the one that has a 90 degree. We all know that to be a right angle, so we're going to say right triangle. And then this one is obtuse because it has an angle that is more than 90 degrees. And then the other one is acute. All three angles are less than 90. Okay, so then that leads to this special triangle, the equiangular triangle. Angular meaning angles. And the definition for this is a triangle with three congruent angles. Kind of like the equilateral, but instead of lateral for sides, we're going to say angular for angles. The neat thing about this is that there's angles on the inside of the triangle, and those are called interior angles. And then if you were to extend or continue the line, they create also three congruent angles on the outside. So these are called exterior angles. All right, so then that leads us to now talking about the theorems that we are going to practice here. The triangle sum theorem, it's pretty much a rule, a statement that says that the angles on the inside of a triangle can be added, so that's the word sum, and they will all equal 180 degrees. So we can picture mathematically measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. So it's adding all sides, adding all interior angles will equal 180. The next part is understanding that if that is true, if the inside angles equal 180 when you add them, this right here is a 90 degree already. So in order for all of this to be 180, that means that these two angles have to also equal 90 because 90 plus 90 is 180. So the corollary of the triangle sum theorem builds on that, where it says that the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5 has to equal 90 on right triangles. So just keep in mind that they're complementary. So right triangles have complementary acute angles. All right, let's look at some examples. Here are two examples. The first one says find the value of x of this triangle. And even though it's notated that these are congruent, we notice that these angles are also congruent. So it's the isosceles triangle. We are going to find the value of x by using these expressions, and we're going to add all three of them, and they should equal 180. So we're going to have 8x minus 2 plus 8x minus 2 plus 7x. And to solve for x, or find the value of x, is just solving for this equation. So the first thing we do is combine like terms. All the x's are combined. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 7 is 23. And then we do the numbers, negative 2, and then another negative 2. So that results in minus 4. So then we solve for x by adding 4 to both sides. Then we have 23x equals 184. Divide by 23. And our answer is 8. Right, so then that results in just answering the question, which is asking for the value of x. Next, look at the next problem. We have a right triangle, so that's a 90-degree right there. And we can use this format of the three angles adding up to 180, or we can just understand that if this is 90, then these two have to be also the other 90 that's missing. So we're going to try that. We're going to do the two expressions added equals 90. So we're going to write 3x minus 7 plus 4x plus 6 equals 90. And we solve for x. Combine like terms. So it's 3x plus 4x, that's 7x. Then you have negative 7 plus 6, that's negative 1 equals 90. Add 1. 7x equals 91. Divide by 7, and x equals 13. So if x equals 13, now look at the question. It says find the measure of ACB. ACB is this one. So we're going to have 4x plus 6 on that one. BAC is this one. So we're going to have 3x minus 7 on that one. The x is 13, so we're going to have 4 times 13 plus 6, and then over here 3 times 13 minus 7. And as a result, we're going to end up with 58 on this side, 58 degrees, and then on this side, we're going to have 32 degrees. And then again, you can just double check if this is true. You add these two, and that should result in a 90. All right, let's try the next one, exterior angle theorem. So this exterior angle theorem is now telling you that if you have an exterior angle outside of a triangle, this right here is a linear pair. So these two angles adding up will be 180 degrees. But if you think about it, these three angles as well equal 180 degrees. So this angle on the outside is actually a combination of these two. Angle 1 plus angle 2 equal this angle on the outside. So the theorem states that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 4. The verbal definition for this is just saying that the non-adjacent angles to the exterior, so non-adjacent angles, you're going to add the non-adjacent angles to equal the exterior angle. All right, so here are 3 examples that we're going to do applying these theorems. So here we have this exterior angle of 4x plus 12, and then these interior angles, and we're going to add these two to equal this big one. So right here, and we're going to write 2x plus 70 equals 4x plus 12. So one way to remember this is 2 angles on the inside equal the angle on the outside. And then we solve. So there's x on both sides of the equal sign. So we gotta move it to a different side. So we're gonna do, let's do negative 4x to cancel here, negative 4x, and that's 2 minus 4, which results in negative 2x. And then we have to move 70 minus 70 minus 70, and we end up with negative 2x equals negative 58. To finalize this, you're going to divide by negative 2, and x equals 29. Go back to the question and see if they're asking you to solve for x or if they're asking you to solve for the exterior angle. This says find the measure of the exterior angle, so we gotta find this right here. We're gonna substitute for x the 29, and we're gonna have 4 times 29 plus 12. If you do the calculation for that, you get 128 degrees. All right, let's try 2 more examples. We have, again, an exterior angle right here, and then 2 interior angles right here. So we're going to have this plus that equals that. So the 2 inside equal the outside. So 75 plus x equals 3x minus 19. And we solve for x. So an x right here and an x right here, we need to separate them. So we're going to do minus 3x minus 3x. So we're going to have 75 minus 2x equals negative 19. Subtract the 75 to cancel it. And we have negative 2x equals negative 94. Yeah. Then we divide by negative 2, and we end up with x equals 47. The question is asking to find the measure of the exterior angle once again, so we're going to substitute a 47 right here for the x. And we're going to have 3 times 47 minus 19. And then if you calculate all that, it gives you 122 degrees. All right, last problem. Here it's asking you to find 2 values, value x and value y. So first we look at what we're given. We're given this angle, we're given this angle, we're given an exterior angle, and then we're given this angle. So with these 2 on the inside and the exterior, we can start with that, adding the 2 on the inside to equaling the outside. So we're going to have 51 plus 8x plus 3 equals 13x plus 9. Let's solve for x by combining like terms. So 8x plus 54 equals 13x plus 9. Then we're going to move the x's to the other side. So we're going to do minus 13x cancels. Negative 5x plus 54 equals 9. Subtract 54, negative 5x equals negative 45. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, x equals 9. It says to find the value of x and y. So this is your x, 9. And then the y, it's right here. So we can either substitute the x in here to find what this angle is, and then add 51, and together they add up to 180 with this angle, and this angle is right across the y, so that's a vertical angle, which means they're equal. Or we can ignore all that and focus on this part. We can substitute the x in here, find this angle, and then know that this angle plus this angle equals a linear pair. So let's do that. Let's do 13 times 9 plus 9 and find out what this angle is right here. And that's going to equal 126 degrees. So if this angle is 126 degrees, then we have to subtract that from 180 to find out what that y value is. So that's 54. So this is 54 degrees. All right, so those were the notes. Hopefully you understood the introduction to triangles.